Hello.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thanks.
Great, great, great. Welcome to class.
Thanks.
Good. And we'll wait just a moment for others to join us, but I will paste the link in the chat to the worksheets that we will use today. So you can find the link there. This is part 2 of a 2-part class. So last hour we started the worksheets. This hour we will finish the worksheets and we'll do some extra work on a website.
Okay.
All right, so we'll get started in just a second. Sure, we'll have people joining in just a moment. Where is, there we go. All right. There we go. Let's see. Giomara? Giomara, hello? Okay, all right. Well, let's see. Welcome back, Raphael.
Hi, Stephanie.
Glad you're back. And Julio, hello.
Hi,
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great, great. And Philip, welcome back. Glad you're here for more. Jose, hello.
Hello, Stephanie.
How are you today?
I'm doing very well. And you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
Thank you, teacher.
Good, glad the microphone is working. Good. All right, great. Let's see, Diogo, hello.
Hello again.
Hello, Stephanie. How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Great, wonderful. Welcome to class.
Thank you.
And Diego, hello, welcome back. Welcome back for round 2.
Okay. Hello again.
Good, good. And Anna, welcome back.
Thank you, teacher.
All right, so looks like everyone is here. This is grammar practice, and today we are working on modals of necessity and obligation. So these are words we use when we're talking about things we are required to do or rules. And this is part 2. So we started last hour with part 1. We've done most of the exercises, but I'll review again just some really important points, and then we'll finish these exercises. The link is in the chat, so let's go to the worksheets. We'll finish those, and then we'll do some extra work with a website. And go from there. So let's go to our grammar worksheets of the day. I'm not going to repeat everything I did in the first part. Just want to point out again the form. We have the modal and then the base verb. So you'll never have 2. A base verb is just an infinitive without the 2. So an infinitive, you might have to be. Well, the base form is just be. Or to run. The base form is just run. So never use that to. That's the form. Modal and then a base verb. And then with the modal expressions, I should mention, must is always the same. You must, I must, they must, she must. So it's never going to be she musts. It will also never be she must takes. So just must and take. But the expressions have to and have got to, you do have to match the subject. You have to have subject-verb agreement. So she has to take the test. All three of these modals mean about the same. Must is the most formal, probably the most strong as well, strongest and most formal. Have to can be less strong, can be informal. And have got to is less strong and always informal. So these are useful tables to have around. With have got to, there's no negative. It's not. There's no haven't got to. I don't believe. I don't know. I feel like there is, but maybe not. Maybe that's not a modal use of it. Just one other important thing, don't have to. Even though must and have to mean almost exactly the same, don't have to and must not have very different meanings. Must not or mustn't is like a strong obligation. You cannot do something. Don't have to means you can choose not to do something, or you can do it if you want to. You're not required to. It's really different. And then the other important thing to note is the pronunciation. When we pronounce these modals, we often reduce them. That means we say them quickly, we shorten them, we change the sounds. So we use these reductions in speaking, informal speaking. We never write them. So have to will sound like have to. Has to sounds like has to. Have got to sounds like have gotta. And has got to sounds like has gotta. I have to meet my friend after class. She has to redo her assignment this weekend. We've got to try harder in school. He's got to go to his appointment now. So just some important notes. This is a useful study guide for this grammar area. We did do most of these exercises. So we're going to start where we left off. There's one more exercise after this. And then we'll go a little deeper on the English page. All right, so we are on number 8, and your task is to take this rule and rewrite it using a modal of necessity of your choice. So must, mustn't, have got to, have to, don't have to, all of those. So for example, participating in an after-school sport is optional. You don't have to participate in an after-school sport. All right, so we're on number 8, and I'm going to call on Omar. Omar, will you go first with number 8?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I have got to. Eating in classroom is only allowed during the lunch hour.
Okay, so you want to use have got to. So let's start with you. So we're going to make it a rule. Let's start with you. So you.
You have got
Yeah.
gotta got you have got to eating in classroom is only allowed during the lunch hour.
Good, good. And we would change eating to eat, just because the grammar between the two sentences is very different. So you have got
Yes.
to eat in the classroom. Yeah, great. Only during, you said only during the lunch hour. Oops, let's get that so we can see it. There we go. Very nice. You have got to eat in the classroom only during the lunch hour.
Teacher,
Yes.
why can't we use must?
You can. You can.
Okay,
Yep, so you could say you mustn't eat in the classroom except during lunch hour. Or,
unless it is the lunch hour.
yeah, unless. Yep, yep. All of those are good options. Good. Cannot would also be a good one. You cannot eat in the classroom except during lunch hour. Good question. All right. Number 9. Xiomara, hello. Xiomara, are you there? I see you typed in the chat, but I can't hear you. Huh. Maybe she's having a problem? All right, well, we'll try to come back. Raphael, number 9?
You must not test your friends in class.
Great. Good. Excellent. Nice. That's a good rule. And 10, Philip.
10.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to attend the after-school study sessions.
And again, this one fell to you. Yep, you don't have to attend.
The after-school study session is optional.
Great. After school study sessions. They are optional. Great. Excellent. Does anyone have any questions on any of these? All right. Good, so it sounds like we've got it. So there's only one more exercise with these, and it is to imagine that you are on your city's planning committee for a new community center. Come up with 10 rules for the new center. Use positive and negative modals of necessity. Okay. So a community center is basically just a organization that benefits the community. So there might be classes there, maybe resources to help families. Oh no, excuse me. Might be kind of, that's the idea behind a community center. So you're going to come up with rules. We'll just, I won't make you each come up with 10. We'll just come up, each of you can come up with 1. So a rule for a community center. Here are some examples. You must not smoke on the premises. Okay. And you have to register for courses a week in advance. Right, so try to think of things that have to do with a community center. And I believe, let's see, Philip did the last one, so it is Julio, your turn to start. So think of a rule for the new community center.
Um, no smoking inside the facility.
Good. No. Oh, but you have. Sorry, we have to use our modals. And let's just list really quick the modals. We've got some text boxes out here. What are the modals we're working with here? What are the modals of necessity and obligation?
Mustn't.
Yeah.
Can.
Yeah, mustn't. Anyone. What are the modals?
Have to.
Have to. Yeah, great.
Have got to.
Have got to. Great.
Auto, auto, teacher.
What's that? Ought to?
Auto,
Ought to.
auto. May too.
This one I think is more for advice.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be with a modal of advice. Although it's not always
Okay.
precise. Sometimes it might be used in a necessity.
And had better.
Had better. Yeah, had better is advice as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Auto is a modal.
Yeah, modal expression. Yeah, it's an old-fashioned one of advice.
Should.
Should is also advice. Yep, should, ought to, had better. Those go with our advice modals. There's some overlapping in meaning too. But I think for necessity and obligation, we're looking at just mustn't, have to, have got to, must, don't have to. And then we've got, I think, cannot is one we should keep in mind as well. Mostly just those. So think of a sentence using one of these. So Julio, you had a great sentence, a great rule for the community center. Now say it using one of our modals. And you.
You must not smoke inside the facilities.
Great. Yep, you must not smoke inside the facilities. Great, thank you, Julio. Jose, your turn. What's your sentence?
You have to fill in an application form. Application form.
FORM.
Yes.
Oh, form. Gotcha.
Form. Yes.
I'm sorry, and I'm sitting there
Form.
waiting for you to continue. Gotcha. All right, everyone. Thank you. Form. I just didn't hear the M at the end there. You have to fill in an application form. Yeah, and we might just probably say just an application, just a form. Great. Thank you very much. Nice sentence.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When shall we use fill in and fill out?
I think it's more of a probably different by like dialects, like where you are. I personally would say fill out here, but I know people from other dialects of English would say fill in. I always use fill out when it's a paper form or a internet form. But you can kind of use them interchangeably, I think.
Because I've heard that you use fill out when you complete the form from beginning to end, and you use fill in when it's just a blank or a couple of blanks.
Yeah, and I know I do say fill in, like a worksheet like this, or wait, where? A worksheet like this, I would say fill in the blanks. Yeah, I would never say fill out for this type of exercise. I would say fill in, and here it says fill in. So I don't really know. Yeah, I suppose maybe for an application, say fill out, but if there's just one or two boxes missing, say fill in. Yeah, that sounds about right, I suppose. I'm not too sure on that one, but it's a great question. Thank you, Julio. Let's see. So, Diogo, it's your turn to come up with a sentence.
You must participate of the weekly meetings.
Good. Must participate. And this always goes with the preposition in. Participate in.
Okay.
And what did you say? The meetings?
Weekly meetings.
The weekly meetings. The weekly meetings. Great. You must participate in the weekly meetings. Excellent. Thank you, Diogo. Diego.
Okay. You mustn't steal your partner when we had meeting.
So you say it one more time?
You mustn't steal your partner when we have a meeting.
This is a little confusing to me. I think something might not be translating right here. So you mustn't steal, like...
Steal from your partner, I guess that's what he wants to say.
Steal from your partner when we have a meeting? Or steal, you take your partner away from the meeting?
When you meeting, you don't steal your. It is a joking rule. No serious.
Yeah, but I think it might be using an idiom, like there might be an idiom involved there that isn't translating or something. Yeah, because I can't think of an instance when we would say this.
Yes, when finish your meeting, you steal your partner.
And
you can steal, but when you are meeting, you don't steal.
okay, so like steal, like to take home, to take your partner home. Okay, I got it. Yeah, so don't steal your partner. Don't take. I think steal is like an idiomatic verb kind of with that. So we'd probably say take. Don't take your partner when we have.
Okay.
And we might say during. Yeah, that's a good one. You mustn't take your partner when we. Oh, let's say when we are having. We'll use the present progressive there to show during the meeting, when we are having a meeting. Great.
Okay.
Thank you, Diego. I like it. Creative. And Ana Carolina, what's your rule?
You don't have the be very assiduous in the courses. However, your absence must be less than 40%.
Let's see. Hang on. I missed a couple.
Assiduous.
You don't have
Assiduous in the course.
do you know how to spell it?
Okay. I'm sorry about my pronunciation.
No, no problem. I'm not sure. It sounds like maybe assiduous. Yeah, assiduous. I'm just not sure. It's not a common word in English, and I don't remember what.
Okay, frequent.
What does it mean?
Very frequent.
Frequent. Okay, okay. Very assiduous.
However, your absence must be absent.
Oh, absence. Okay.
Sorry, teacher, my pronunciation is off. Must be less than 40%.
40%. Great.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. No worries. You're fine. And let's just put a S. We're going to put an S on absence. Your absences must be less than 40%. Good. And now you're teaching me new words. Very nice. I like it. Getting creative. Very nice. Thank you. A few more rules for our community center. Omar, your rule.
Yes. You must solve your problem with yourself or without using without using uh, uh,
Without using...
without using help.
Yeah, without using help. Nice. Yeah. All right. So solve your problem yourself without using help at the community center. Great. Thank you, Omar.
Okay.
Giomara, are you there? Oh, I see now in the chat it says I can't talk. I see. Okay. So let us know, Giomara, if you can talk, and I'll call on you again, but otherwise we'll carry on. So, Raphael, it's your turn for a rule for our community center.
You must register your portable weapons at the police station.
Sorry, say it again. You must
Register your portable weapons.
resist.
Register.
Register. Sorry, register your powerful weapons.
Portable.
Portable weapons
At the police station.
at the police station. Great. Excellent. Oops. There we go. Thank you, Raphael. One more rule for our community center. Marcus, your turn.
You must respect the opinions of other members in the meet.
You must respect the opinions of the other members in the meeting.
Yes.
In the meeting. Great.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. We've got a lot of must, a lot of have to. Are there any questions on any of these sentences? Great. All right. So I think we've definitely mastered must, certainly. So this was the end of these exercises. If you were not here for the first part, of course, you can go back and do those other exercises on your own. For the rest of this class, we're going to go to a website, one of my favorite websites. I use it a lot. And we'll do a little tutorial on these same modals. We'll do a quiz, and we'll continue on the same grammar. So let me get you the link. This is called EnglishPage.com. I use it for almost all the grammar topics that I have to look up. It's got good information, good for the tenses. It uses good graphs, so I recommend this page for grammar questions. And we'll use it today to review these modals, and depending on time, we may go on to some other modals. So this is EnglishPage.com. We're in the modal verb tutorial. And the tutorial, basically, you look at a topic and then you have some exercises on the topics. We are working with have to and must, so we'll start there. Have to, as we've already figured out, is to express necessity and obligation, but also certainty. So it's kind of different meaning. And there are examples. We're not going to go through them all, but there are lots of great examples. So have to for certainty. That has to be. That has to be Jerry. They said he was tall with bright red hair. So you're certain that this is Jerry. Necessity. She has to read 4 books for this literature class. She's required to read 4 books. Negative form. With has to, for certainty, you shift to must. So that must not be Jerry. I'm certain that it's not. And we do the same. No, excuse me. But with have to, it's doesn't have to. Remember, it's different from must. We've talked about that. Let's just go to must really quick. How can we get there the fastest? I'm going to go back. We'll just look at must. Because must, we've been looking at it today as modal of obligation and necessity, but it also can be and is often used with certainty. So most of the time, must is about certainty. But it can also be used to express necessity, strong recommendation, which is over in the advice realm, the world of advice. So that's must. Let's just get right into the exercise then. When it's your turn, you'll get a sentence. It might have 1, it might have 2 blanks. You have to choose whether to use must or have to. And be careful because negative and past forms are also used. So it might be negative. And you might need to change a must to a don't have to, or have to a mustn't. So pay attention to that. All right, number 1. Who is the lucky person who's going to go first? I believe, I think Julio is up at first again.
All right. I must be at the meeting by 10. I would probably have to take a taxi if I want to be on time.
Great. And with must and have to meaning the same thing, or almost the same thing, just think about formality. If it's formal, use must. If it's informal, use have to. So good. A meeting is formal, but probably taking a taxi is informal. Great. Thank you, Julio. Number 2, Jose.
Okay. Mm, you must submit the application if it has not been completely filled out. Check that the name, address, and background information are correct. If the form is not accurate and complete, you will be rejected and you will have to reapply at a later date.
Great, great. Notice that must would not fit here. Okay, we never say will must. So very
Okay.
good. Are you sure about this first one?
You have to.
It's not have to, but you.
Mustn't.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's not filled out, completely filled out, then you mustn't. Good. I think those both look right to me, so great.
Okay.
Excellent. Thank you, Jose. Diogo, number 3.
Tina, look at the flowers. They're beautiful, but there's no card. Who could have sent them? Stefan. It must have been David. He's the only one who would send you flowers.
Great, yes. And this is the must of certainty. I'm certain that it was David. Great. Thank you, Diogo. Diego, you're up. Number 4.
Okay. You must forget to pay the rent tomorrow. The landlord is very strict about paying on time.
Good, good. And did you say must or mustn't?
Okay. Okay, mustn't.
Yeah. Yep, great. Don't forget to pay rent. You mustn't forget.
Okay.
Great. Thank you, Diego. Ana Carolina, you're up. Number 5.
You mustn't be so rude. Why don't you try saying please once in a while?
Very good, very good.
Teacher,
Yeah.
it should have a question mark.
Yes, it should. It certainly should, right there. That is a question. Nice work.
I think that one is incorrect.
You think this one? What do you think it is?
Definitely it's completely informal, and I would never say you mustn't be so rude. I mean, you don't have to be so rude. Why don't you try saying please once in a while? It's more like giving advice instead of being a command for reading.
It depends on how angry you are.
Yeah, I think if you're, I think you both make good points. Doesn't have to certainly fits here, or you don't. It wouldn't be doesn't. You don't have to be so rude. That certainly fits, and it does sound informal because of this part.
But if you are really upset,
yeah, I'd say if you're really upset, you might use mustn't, or if you're really old. If you, like my grandmother would say this, even in an informal setting.
I think mustn't way less common in this.
Yeah, I think it probably most likely would be don't have to. But let's check. Let's just check this because it could be either. We're gonna. Well, let's see. Should we check now or at the end? Oh, let's just check now. We'll make sure we're correct so far. So the correct ones will turn black. Good, so we're correct all the way. We are not. It is, they must mean for us to use the informal. You don't have to. But mustn't would be used by someone very angry or very old.
Thank you for pointing it out, Selma.
Yeah, great.
I didn't know, teacher.
I think it's a very fine distinction. Certainly wouldn't be any miscommunications with that, though. I do, for some reason, I picture a grandmother saying this, so mustn't sounded right to me. All right, we are on to number 6, and it is Omar's turn.
Hi, teacher.
Yeah, Omar?
Yes, yes. If
Your
you are over 18 in California, you you have you must take a driver training course to get a driver's license. You can have a friend or a family member teach you instead, but remember, you must still get your permit before you start practicing.
Good. So you said must for both of them. Good. Let's see. Look a little bit closer with this one. So if you are over 18 in California, you must take a driver's training course to get a driver's license. You can have a friend or family member teach you instead. This instead is telling us that they're probably saying that you don't have to take a driver training course. Because we need these to be opposite. So if someone's doing it instead, I don't know how to explain, but this one is, I think this one's likely going to be don't have to. You don't have to take a driver training course to get a driver's license. You can have a friend or a family member teach you instead.
I think you can replace instead for teach you as an alternative option. Maybe he will understand better.
Yeah, that's a good way to phrase it. You can have a friend. Yeah, instead literally means in place of. So you can have a friend or family member teach you rather than taking a course or in place of taking a course. I don't know. It's a confusing one, but good work. I think those are right. We'll check again after a few more. All right. Giomara, is your mic working, or are you able to talk yet? No? Maybe? No? Okay, Raphael, your turn. Number 7.
You don't have to be rich to be a success. Some of the most successful people I know haven't got a penny to their name.
Choo. Great, sorry about that. Sneezed again. Thank you, Raphael. I think that's right. Sounds right to me. Another, you don't have to. It's not required. Number 8, Marcus.
Okay. My car broke down in that valley last week. I must have I traveled more than 100 meters to the nearest mechanic. Lady. Mm, that uh, that don't that must have cost a fortune.
Stephanie, you're muted.
Oh boy, thank you. Sorry about that, everyone. I always forget to unmute my mic. That's the danger of muting it. So I was explaining that if this is must, we're looking, sorry, this happened last week. My car broke down last week. I must have it towed more than 100 miles. This would be in the present, but this happened last week. It's already been towed, so that's a clue we're not going to use must. So we're going to use have to, but we're going to change it to the past tense. So it will be, I had to. I had to have it towed. Probably confusing because of the have here, but that's where we're at. That makes sense? Any questions, anybody, on any of these so far?
So far, so good.
All right, so far so good. Good. So these are actually trickier than the other exercises, I think. So number 9, oh, I remember this one. This is a little tricky, but number 9, I forgot whose turn we're on. I think, is it Julio's turn?
Okay, while hiking in Alaska, you have to or must keep an eye out of bears. If you see one, you mustn't approach it. They are beautiful animals, however, they are wild and unpredictable in nature. You don't have to be afraid of them, but educating yourself about the dangers can help keep you safe.
Great. And what do you want to decide for this? Have to or must?
You have to, because it's an informal warning, I would say, friendly warning.
Yeah, this might be a friend telling you, friendly warning. Great, I think they sound right to me. Does anyone have any questions or disagree with any of them? All right, let's just check this screen so far, see how we're doing. Yay, we're correct. Very good. All right. Number 10, moving right along. Jose, you're up. Number 10, please. Jose? Jose, are you there? Okay, he was there. Moving along. All right, Diogo. It is your turn for number 10.
Okay. Okay, I have to go to work tomorrow because it is a Memorial Day. The best thing about a day off from work is that I don't have to get up at 6. I can sleep in till noon if I want to.
Great. Good. So that sounds good to me. I don't have to get up at 6. How about this? I have to go to work tomorrow because it's Memorial Day. Memorial Day is a holiday in America. So, do you think, is it I have to? And later he's talking about a day off from work. So a day of no work. Do you think he has to go to work or he doesn't have to go to work?
He doesn't have.
Yeah, probably doesn't have to go to work. So I don't have to go to work tomorrow. Great. All right. Thank you, Diogo.
Okay.
To the same, I think. So, Diego, you're up, number 11.
Okay. Okay. Yesterday, I don't sure must in past.
You cannot do must in the past. So you can't
Okay.
do must in the past. You must choose the other one.
Okay. I had to cram all day for my French final. I didn't get to sleep until after midnight.
Great, great. Good work. Yep, must. We can't do must in the past. Good thing to remember. Great. Thank you, Diego. Ana Carolina, number 12.
Oh no, I completely forgot we were supposed to pick up Jenny up at the airport. She must have still be sitting there, waiting for us.
Good. And it's just must. Yep, she must still be sitting there.
I
Great. So
why not must have?
must have would be for the past. So if this was over and done with, then we could say she must have been sitting there waiting for us. But because this is present tense, or well, she's saying, I completely forgot we were supposed to. And then Barbara is talking in the present tense. She must still be sitting there. A little bit confusing, but must have is only for the past. And that's for certainty in the past. Good question. All right, I think we can finish 13. Omar?
In grade receiving a scholarship to Yale University, which will cover 100% of the tuition. She must not worry at all about the increasing cost of education.
Okay.
Mustn't.
Message. This one, let's see. So she'll cover 100% of the tuition. So this is like saying she's prohibited from worrying. Is there like a rule, or is she prohibited? Or is it just that she doesn't have to?
I don't know.
Yeah, this is a tricky one. Mustn't and doesn't have to are the trickiest part about this area of modals. So saying must not, it's like saying she is not allowed to worry. or she is prohibited from worrying. There's a rule, and the rule says she must not worry. But she could still worry, just in general, or she could worry for her little brother. So she just doesn't have to worry. She could worry, but she doesn't have to because she has money to cover tuition. So hard to explain the difference, but must not. Must in the negative is like a very strong prohibition. Doesn't have to in the negative is just, it's not required. It's optional. Tough one. Let's just, a couple minutes left. We can finish quickly. Raphael, will you take 14, please?
When I was a child, my grandmother was continually correcting our manners. She always used to say, one mustn't eat with one's mouth open. Or she would correct us by saying, one mustn't rest one's elbows on the table. And every time I wanted to leave the table, she would say, one must ask to be excused.
Good. Good, sounds good to me. I think that's right. That's must is rather old-fashioned, so we can picture grandmother saying it. Great, thank you. And one last one goes to Julio.
I've redone this math problem at least 20 times, but my answer is wrong according to the answer key. The answer in the book must be wrong.
Yep, good. So certainty there. All right, they look good to me, but let's double check. There's always one that I get wrong. Maybe today is my lucky day. Wow, wonderful job, everyone. We got them all right. Very happy. So, an A+ for everyone in the class today. 10 bonus points. Good work. I hope that was helpful for this small area of grammar. If not, we'll be back for more. So thank you for participating, and I hope to see you all soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
teacher.
Bye bye,
Bye.
teacher.
Thank you. See you.
Thank you.